ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य मणिस्थ श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ May my speech be firmly established in my mind. May the mind too be firmly established in my speech. May there be perfect correspondence between my thoughts, words, and actions. O self-effulgent Lord, be revealed in my consciousness. May the truths of the scriptures come to me. May not what I learn from them ever forsake me. Let me live my life day and night according to their teachings. I shall speak what is appropriate. I shall speak the truth. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace, peace. Let us feel the divine in our heart. As a steadily burning candle flame. Let us concentrate on that. This flame of my true divine nature is becoming brighter and brighter, bigger and bigger. The body, the mind, the ego, and in fact the whole universe is occupied by this divine flame. all time and space is consumed by it. There is no distinction like here and there, then and now, mine and yours. This flame I am seeing is condensing, and it has assumed the divine form of Sri Ramakrishna. It is scattering peace and blessedness, making us feel and experience that we are divine. We are never born or can ever die. Om, peace, peace, peace. So last Tuesday, we were discussing Sri Ramakrishna on the boat tour with Keshav Chandra Sen and many of the devotees who some of them used to come to him, and many were the devotees who were belonging to Brahma Samaj. So, these devotees, they had these doubts about God. It is normally people do not think of God much. It is only as except as either a punch bag, means if something doesn't go according to our wishes, then whom to blame? So the final blame will stick with that, because of whom everything this happened. So God is to be blamed. God made this. So who knows? It is, when we do not know whom to blame, like in the insurance, we say it is so much damage done. Well, that was act of God. We are not responsible. They don't give the claim because it is act of God. What can be done? So it is thus blame the God. That is one use of God for the common people. Other this thing is pray for getting more sense enjoyments, more money, and more respect in society, and such things that people crave for. So they are putting in efforts to get that. But the efforts may be or may not be enough. So therefore, uh, there is this backup plan. Pray to God, and that okay, the God will bring those things to me. I am putting in efforts, but if it doesn't work, then there is the God. So let us pray to God for that. There is no love or devotion for God actually, but to get something from God, the God is approached. So this is another way for understanding why people think of God. There is another way people look at God, and that is there is no explanation to many, many things that we see in this world. So, God who created this world, who has all the secrets, may be able to inform us on that. So, God is, what is it? Yes, opening prayer. Thank you. Yeah, we will soon get on to opening prayer. So, yeah, thank you for reminding. Yeah, otherwise it would be time for closing prayer. So, this is another way that people think of that uh, I don't know many things, but God may be knowing. So, that is God. So there are various ways people think of God. One important thing is that nobody can get rid of this God business. It is in the world, so many have made attempt for thousands of years. But God is there, is the elephant in the room. You cannot do anything about it. Is there. Those who are atheists, they also have to deal with God, saying that God does not exist. So, something that does not exist that they have to spend so much time on, write big books, that about what? About God, who does not exist. So, it is a funny thing, they there is that joke I had told, and it is in Ranganathananji's book on Bhagavad Gita, that one priest had a philosopher friend. He was professor of philosophy. So one day the priest invites him to give a lecture to his congregation. And he introduced the philosopher friend, saying that what is philosophy, it is a search to discover a black cat who does not exist in a dark room. The non existent black cat is to be found in a dark room. That is how philosophy is. And the philosophy professor did not take this kind of introduction lightly. So when he stood for speaking, he said, "My friend described my profession but didn't tell about his one, his profession. Let me elaborate on that a little bit." So his profession also is like mine. It is that a non existent black cat to be found in the dark room. Only difference is, while I don't claim that I found it, they say that they found it. So that is the difference. So otherwise, everybody is busy with this God. Where is that God? So, uh, those who want to know this secret, they feel a longing for that. They see that that is the most important thing in life to do, to discover the God. So, it is, therefore, they are called the spiritual people. Spirit is that aspect which does not change. So, that which changes is matter. Matter always is changing. Even within the atom, you see the electrons are moving all the time and they are combining and recombining with other things. Matter is subject to change. The question that comes is, on what basis do we see the change? Then that is, you think that there has to be something unchanging. On the basis of that, the change is being perceived. So, let us think of it and now recite the opening chant. तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ते भूरिदा जनाः. The Amrita, that nectar or elixir, because of which one becomes immortal, means goes beyond the changing these appearances. That is the way to be immortal. That while the things change, there is something that does not change. And to see that I am that. Now you become immortal because there is no change in me. So how can there be birth and death? If there is a birth, there has to be a death. There is no way that you will have birth and no death. So, birth means death. Beginning means end. So, it is when there is no change, then only you can think of immortality, this kathamrita. This word is very important. It is, the English translation does not contain this word. It is just the gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. But the Bengali word and the translations of this Kathamrita in Indian languages all use that Vachanamrita or Kathamrita, that it is, because that is very important. It is nectar. That is what we will get immortality from by using that. And the question does bother, especially intelligent people would ask, that like you and I will ask. But see, these are the words of Sri Ramakrishna. He was also born. We celebrate his birthday, 1836, that year he was born. And then he passed away in 1886. So he also was subject to death. He was not immortal. The one who wrote these, he also was born and died. So many have read these conversations. They were also subject to death. They died too. So what is the point in calling this as Kathamrita? This word immortal, although we all want to be immortal, hmm, there is no denying this fact. And that is why we want to extend the life. In general, of course, some have that suicidal tendency to end the life, but apart from them, most of us they love living, and so death is seen with scare. Oh, look at just that corona wave. So how people were scared of what? Oh, I will get corona and I will die. Not only that, then what will happen to all my near and dear? They will weep so much for me, and all such ideas. So it is, we don't want to die, but death is certain. Today or tomorrow. The death is certain. There you can get a team of best doctors, uh, but still the death will be there. In fact, that doctor will also die, isn't it? The one who is doctor, that fellow also is subject to death. That nice joke is there about a man who was heart patient and then had suddenly won a big lottery, $5 million. Now uh, he was in the hospital, and how to now tell this news? The wife called the doctor that uh, the, this is the result. Can he be able to withstand this news? He said, doctor said, okay, I will tactfully reveal it to him. Uh, so he went to the hospital and started telling, hey Sam, just you are you feeling better today? Yes, today I am feeling better. Just imagine that a scenario after telling a few things about weather and all that. Uh, Imagine a scenario that you suppose win 5 millions. What are you going to do with that? Do you have any idea that suppose you win that 5 millions? In case you win, what will you be doing with it? Oh, John, I will give half of that to you, my dear doctor. And the doctor had such a massive heart attack, died right there. Because the doctor knew that it is reality. This Sam patient didn't know that it is real. So, therefore, in imagination, if you get 5 millions or 10 millions, nobody is going to be emotionally charged. But if really, then what will happen? So for that doctor, it became a reality. Suddenly, could not handle it. So it is. What I mean is, even a doctor who wants to save the patient and give that patient a long lease of life also is subject to that. One doctor told the patient, you have 6 months to live. Oh, only 6 months, doctor, but I will not be able to pay your bills in 6 months. Okay, then I give you 6 more months. So it is. Mm. So there is this mortality associated with everything in this. But what happens when you read this book? Your association with body gets cut. Now our identification with body, association becomes more intense and becomes an identification. We identify with body. That if the body travels to New York, I say, I went to New York. It is, I went to Hollywood, isn't it? Yeah, who went to Hollywood? The body traveled there. So the body was born. So I say, I was born on that day. The body was born. I didn't get born. The body dies. Oh, I am going to die. No, it is only the body that gets birth, changes, and that change comes to a level where we say it is dead. So it is just a matter, of time. Okay, comes, stays for some time, and then dissolves. But when you can break this identification, I am not the body. And it is true, friends, you are not body. Nobody is actually body. This is a false, mistaken, although very strong identification. It is very strong doesn't mean it is real. Let us not, that confuse between that. A strong misunderstanding doesn't mean that it is real. At one point of time, people used to strongly believe that the earth is flat and does not rotate, it is stationary, does not move. Because that is how the uh, initial appearance is. If you see that the earth is not flat and round, I used to question in my early childhood, how can the earth be round? I would have fallen had the earth been round like that. It is flat. Don't you see it is flat? Yes, in appearance it is flat. And in appearance it doesn't move. Yeah, it is, we see it is stationary, it doesn't move. But then the discovery by observation, by penetration into the various phenomena in the nature, you see that earth is round. It doesn't matter now whether you believe it or you don't believe it. I was told that even now there is some society, flat earth society, that there are still believers in flat earth society. So it doesn't matter whether you believe or you don't believe. That is the greatness of science. It doesn't depend on your belief. It is dependent on what is the fact, what is the truth, what can be verified. It is not subject to imagination. And that is the fact. One more very important criterion that goes with science is verification. Verifiability is only a half of that, or not even one third of that. The more important thing is falsifiability. The truths of science must be presented in such a way that they should be falsifiable. Means there should be a mechanism to show some experiment can disprove the conclusion. So, falsifiability is there, has to be there. So, this is the earth is flat and it doesn't move. You investigate and show that, come on, have you not seen horizon? That was one of the first proofs that the earth is not flat. Earth is round. Had earth been flat, then you see the horizon And if you move towards the horizon, you will see the distance between you and horizon will reduce in the direction of your motion and will keep on increasing behind you. It is, if it is flat, then it will be like that. But no, it remains the same. It is always a round horizon. So it is possible only Earth if Earth is a sphere and not a flat surface, and so forth. The point is that these truths they are verifiable. But the truth about our being a body, that I am this body, is not true at all, because it is neither verifiable and it can be easily falsified. So, all scientific investigation into this is enough to show that we are not body. Mm. And thus we are not mortal. And do you get to this conclusion easily, isn't it? We are mortal only because we are identified with this continuously changing heap of flesh, blood, and all that. And so that changes, and at one point of change, then you say it is died, it has died, gone. So, therefore, it is only because of that there is death. If you remove this misunderstanding that I am body, and then you are immortal. It is there can be 100 proofs to show that you are not body. One right here, you know that you are bodily present here. Are you really present all the time here? Sometimes you are, sometimes not. Body is present. Are you present? Many of you would be just thinking, what is election results? The mind has gone into election. It is not in the class here. So, therefore, you don't are not in the class. Bodily you are, but actually you are not. Even though our Charlie is taking notes, not that he is always really here. Sometimes, not sometimes. And that means that you are not the body, just like you are not in the car that you come in. Your car may be very dear to you, but you are not the car. Sometimes you are in the car, sometimes you are not in the car. Just like sometimes you are in the body, sometimes you are not in the body. So, we are not body. One must get convinced about this. And these conversations are great for that, because it tells not only that you are not body, it also tells you what you really are. You are divine. Each of us is really divine, all pervading, ocean of bliss. So, therefore, when you know that, then how happy you will be. Otherwise, one keeps on chasing those some pieces, some appearances of happiness here and there, and suffer, because they are appearances after all. And actually, we suffer because of that. When you look at your real nature, your happiness itself. So Sri Ramakrishna tried to present this to those devotees, and it can be realized. What about our worldly duty is a question that we dealt last time. That yes, do your work, do your duties, Don't get caught in them. Do those. Important thing is, don't say mine. And nothing is mine in the world. Uh, you don't have control over it at all. It is not. Is that body mine? Not really. It is so many this microbes are there. They are also saying that this is my body. What claim do you have? You don't have any claim that to say that it is my body. Absolutely no claim. Otherwise, why will some disease come into it? It is not yours at all. It is somebody else's. So nothing is mine. And thus you become free. Nothing is mine. Not in the sense, after listening to one such Vedanta lectures, our Chetananandji had shared his story that he was those days at that Hollywood Center. And then used to go to also to Santa Barbara to give lecture. So one day, one uh, famous at that time, one actor came and said, that Hollywood star came and said, I am now a perfect Vedantin because nothing is mine. My house, this big palatial house that you see, belongs to this bank. My car also belongs to this bank. The body belongs to Blue Cross Blue Shield. Uh, so nothing is mine, Swami. Am I not Vedantin then? Oh, if you keep this awareness, of course you are. That nothing is mine. So it is nothing is mine is just a statement of fact. When we say the opposite, we are actually liars. That it is mine. No. And thus we get caught in this world. So do your work. Whatever work you think is yours, just a thought, nothing is yours. But whatever you think that this is your work, do it without getting caught in the work. And this is called karma yoga, a yoga of action. So, Sri Ramakrishna told this, and we saw last time the steamer came to a halt where everybody was now getting off the board, and Sri Ramakrishna also got off the board. And then there are some certain things told here that it is that the carriage uh, has to be taken to go back to Dakshineshwar. So the carriage drove through the European quarter of the city. The master enjoyed the sight. Oh, the page number 143, 144. And here it is on this, it is 158 on the PDF, this version. So the master enjoyed the sight of the beautiful mansions on both sides of the well lighted streets. Suddenly he said, I am thirsty. What is to be done? Nandalal, Keshav's nephew, stopped the carriage before the India Club and went upstairs to get some water. The master inquired whether the glass had been well washed. On being assured that it had been, he drank the water. As the carriage went along, it is a long journey. The master put his head out of the window and looked with childlike enjoyment at the people, the vehicles, the horses, and the streets, all flooded with moonlight. Now and then he heard European ladies singing at the piano. He was in a very happy mood. The carriage arrived at the house of Suresh Mitra, one of the very devoted disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. He used to be one of the suppliers, providers as it was called, for Sri Ramakrishna. So uh, in front of his house the carriage stopped and everybody went inside. Suresh was not there. It is And Master affectionately called him as Surendra. He was not at home. The members of the household opened a room on the ground floor for the master and his party. Those days where it was not, you didn't have cell phone to tell that, hey, I am coming, and so forth. Are you at home? No. So uh, you people just went and take chance that they may find somebody or may not find somebody. So a master waited there for for Suresh to come back. Uh, the In the meantime, Sri Ramakrishna and the devotees were invited to the drawing room upstairs. The floor of the room was covered with a carpet and a white sheet. A few cushions were also lying about. On the wall hung an oil painting especially painted for Surendra, in which Sri Ramakrishna was pointing out to Keshav the harmony of Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, and other religions. A very nice painting. It was here at Suresh Mitra's home. Uh, was it gotten made by Suresh Mitra or by Ramchandra Datta? Suresh got it made. So it's a very nice illustrative painting, that all different faiths they are shown, and there is that Sri Ramakrishna is pointing to the harmony of all those. All these, they are praying to God in their own way. So this is one of the important points that is in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, that the all religions, the differences are only superficial as to the difference in customs and difference in certain rituals, but all of them have this common point. The goal is common. God realization is the goal of all religions. That is how the religion came into existence. That in the morning these days, after our meditation and our prayers, we are reading here a few minutes of the complete works of Swami Vivekananda. And what we are reading these days is the second volume of his complete works, the uh, Vedanta and Sankhya, and that chapter was done. Then it is there it is said that look, the religion comes into picture when we want to lead a goal related life, a life that is for fulfilling a purpose or the purpose. And the purpose means, that is the most important thing to be done. That will bring us a total, complete satisfaction and nothing else will remain to be achieved. So that is the goal of life. So that is the special feature of human beings, that they look for purpose in doing everything. This is to be done, but what for? You have to have the purpose for it. Yeah, it is. So they try to see the purpose, and the purpose of whole life is to be seen. And that is where the religion comes into picture. It identifies the purpose of life. Not only that, shows the way to get it. It is, religions are very practical. In fact, they abhor impracticality of so many other walks of life. Because they say, what is the use? Like, yes, you achieved lot of scientific progress. Congratulations. Has it reduced the misery of life? No, more people are going to psychologists, imagine, So it is not that the sufferings are reduced. They are same. Is the jealousy and hatred in human life reduced? No. It is in spite of lot of learning and education. In fact, the big education institutions, universities and all, they are full of, jealousies and competition. Only they express it that in a very polished academic language, that's all. It is not that I used to think earlier that, at this level they are doing, such research work in some great topics, and so they will not fight for such personal honor. No, friends, I found that, a little bit, just, yeah, I was talking to our Raji. She is also in that academic thing, postdoc. So it is that one scholar here at Brown, now she lives elsewhere, but she used to come sometimes and came one day with such agitation. It is, oh, hi, what? See what they did to me. Oh, what happened? Oh, my paper got published in some nice, prestigious journal. But I said, congratulations, your paper got published, be happy. One should be happy, isn't it? No, but she was very angry and agitated. They put my name in the third place. I did all the work. It is, I understand the professor's name could be first. But then second at least should be my name. But they put my name as third, and that young lady could not really be calmed down. That it is all anger, frustration, and that uh, this, this is all, university is full of politics. So I told, see, without actually paying, you get the education in politics also, isn't it? Without paying the fees for it, you get the education of politics as well. So it is. So even that ivory tower of academic life is not free from all these jealousies and hatreds and competitions. So, and that is not therefore the way to achieve the goal. It is impractical. It is, if our goal is happiness, uh, does becoming jealous and hateful serve that goal, march towards that goal? Certainly not. So, those who think that by doing this they will attain the goal, they are impractical people. Mm. Whereas these are very practical people. Reduce what is called the six enemies, Shad Ripu, that uh, this anger, lust, this jealousies, and getting deluded about things. It is all these such six enemies. They are to be removed because they poison our life. So that is what the religion is about. Any religion you see, it is based on these principles. So, in Bible, Jesus says that I am the goal, I am the way. The goal religion identifies and the way is pointed out. So Sri Ramakrishna pointed out this truth, central truth of all religions. It is same, and that is to be followed, that is to be therefore looked into, because religion also we make two religions, and come on, let us battle out who scores more. So this is not the purpose of religion. Follow the religion, then you will get to the goal. Religion is identification of goal and identification of the practical path to realize it. So this is on seeing the picture, Keshav had once said, "Blessed is the man who conceived the idea of seeing that the harmony of religion." Otherwise, quarrel, fights between the faiths. So it is that is the nature of politics, you know. Politics divides, religion unites. So that is, the religion is that. Sri Ramakrishna was talking joyously with the devotees. He had earlier sent for Narendra. He used to live there. And when Narendra arrived, this made the master doubly happy. It is many times in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and the other parallel volume that needs to be studied too, Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play. You see how Narendra, who later becomes Swami Vivekananda and the chief instrument of the spread of the message of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Ramakrishna, as soon as Narendra would be seen, he would be overjoyed that, oh, why? He was seen so attached to Narendra. In fact, Narendra once chided him, "Your condition will become like that Jad Bharata. You are so attached to me that you will not get liberation. You will die and be born like Narendra." So, hearing him, Sri Ramakrishna got a little bit worried. Is it so? And goes to the shrine and asks Divine Mother, and then came out in a minute laughing and said to Narendra, "Oh, Divine Mother told me that I love you only because I see Narayana, the God in you. Otherwise, I will not even be able to see your face." Narendra, how this Narendra became Vivekananda, how Sri Ramakrishna molded this tremendously energetic, brilliant, and rebellious youth uh, is a great story, you know. One can see this in Sri Ramakrishna and his divine play, very beautifully narrated that how that Sri Ramakrishna's influence and he changed the way this Narendra's mind was working. Very brilliant person. Uh, how much he had studied to say that, tell he had not left any single subject unstudied and studied to a great depth. He was great musician. He has studied music at great depth. He had studied the what then was modern mathematics, and that George Cantor, the originator of set theory and all, he had just been living then. So it is he had studied that high mathematics. You see, will see in his writings the tremendous proof that his knowledge of engineering, architecture, uh, and all these subjects, literature, English language, Bengali language, name a subject and you will see that he is the biggest authority that can be there on that. And such a brilliant person, Sri Ramakrishna uh, became his ideal, who was illiterate. See the contrast. Here is the person whose brilliance. There is that incident at Harvard University. They heard Vivekananda's lecture and thought that, well, on philosophical matters he has spoken, but how much science he after all knows. So they called him, and there was a discussion between them. They were mostly, you people know, chemistry professors. Uh, so, and they were so surprised that Swami Vivekananda had studied more books on chemistry than all of them put together. So, such Vivekananda comes to an illiterate Brahmin who does not care for any respect, any honor, and then uh, he was seen that this is the instrument to spread the message. So that is why always Narendra, when he comes, he would be very happy. So Sri Ramakrishna uh, talking joyously to devotees, Narendra arrived. This made Master very happy. He said to his young disciple, "We had a boat trip with Keshav today. Vijay and many other Brahmo devotees were there." Pointing to him, "Ask him what I said to Keshav and Vijay about their quarrel." We had studied that thing. I won't go into that repetition. And then I also said to Keshav that troublemakers like Jatila and Kutila were necessary to lend zest to the play. And ask him, "Isn't that so?" "Yes, sir, quite so." It was quite late. Surendra had not yet returned. The master had to leave for the temple garden, and a cab was brought for him. M and Narendra saluted him and took their leave. Their home was near, so they left. Sri Ramakrishna's carriage started for Dakshineshwar through the moonlit streets. So immediately the next chapter begins. That is on the next day. This was 27th October. Next will be the 28th October. Chapter 6, October 28, 1882. Don't get scared. I am not starting today. So, by the grace of God, we shall be able to see start that chapter next Tuesday. So think about what we discussed, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Any question? This Harsh has one question. Hey, just behind you. Yeah, you didn't get the eyes like all of us, the back. Yeah.
Swamiji, namaskar. Two questions.
Okay.
So the first question is, who is Ram Prasad?
Who is Ram Prasad? Ram Prasad was a devotee of uh, Mother Kali, especially, and lived in Bengal.
Okay.
About a century before Sri Ramakrishna.
I see. So
Yeah.
it's not Sri Ramakrishna, it's
Huh?
somebody else.
No, Ram Prasad is different. I think you had emailed me about
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ram Prasad is not Ramakrishna.
Okay.
But Sri Ramakrishna used to sing
His
the
bhajans.
songs wrote by Ram Prasad. And he pleaded with the Divine Mother that what wrong did I do? You blessed Ram Prasad, Kamalakanta with your visions, but why you are so cruel to me that you are not giving this vision to me? So that is the connect. They are great songs, Yeah.
And the second question is, chapter 8 has a reference to quartz.
To what?
Quartz.
Quartz. Yeah,
Yes.
the crystal.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
there is
quartz,
the
yeah.
Sri Ramakrishna says something about water and it crystallizes someplace.
Yeah.
So what's the relevance with quartz?
Oh,
It's not water.
it is not water, but it looks like quartz. One structure that as the water condenses and becomes ice, it takes many different forms, and one of those ice forms, it is a crystal,
Sure.
and resembles a quartz.
Okay.
So that is how. But the idea there is about devotion,
Right.
that the God is with form or without form. The water, so he gives this analogy that the water is without form, but that same water with the cold of devotion gets condensed into a form, ice. Yeah, so that is it. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's Sangeeta has a question.
Yeah.
And then this Raji also has a question.
Pranam Swamiji.
Pranam, pranam.
So you said today that politics actually divides and religion unites.
Exactly.
Religion, the most wars and violence
It
and all.
it is politics. That is a question that is often asked, that the religions don't fight, but the politicians put their guns on the shoulders of religion. Religions have no fight as such. It is the politics, the economics and politics. They become the cause of fights, and religious fervor is used by politicians, that it is, hey, you have to protect the religion, come on, fight and kill all those infidels. And so people get charged. So that is how the religion is used by politicians for that purpose. Purpose of religion, see, all religions, if you see their scriptures, that one God. That is the God of the everyone. We are all children of God. Everybody, all religions assure that. So there is no fight between religions. Religions unites. The politics, it divides. And therefore we see division in the name of religion. Because we are politicians, our minds get very much quickly caught in politics rather than religion. So therefore we have this division, and this is my religion, that is their religion. Come on, take out the swords and kill each other. It is not in religion, it is in politics. Yeah. One must try to, see religion and what passes for religion. What is religion? Many times this question is asked about that harmony of religions that Sri Ramakrishna spoke about. That where is that? They all fight, they all cheat, all this, they are, so all that cruelty is being supported by these religions. That is what passes for religion. It is very different. It is poison passed as a vitamin. So, yes, Raji.
Maharaj, you had mentioned that the scientific truths are well established because of its verifiability. It can be repeated and it can be verified. But when it comes to spiritual truths, it is said that it is beyond speech, beyond mind, and those who experience this truth cannot express it through words. Then how can it be verified, and how
It
does
is, good. Many times this question gets asked. How it is verified? You have to experiment and do the verification. Like simple science also is like that. Hydrogen combined with oxygen, you will get water. It is now, no, I don't believe it. Okay, perform the experiment. No, I am not going to perform the experiment. Then what can be done? It is exactly the same thing, verifiable. That, okay, it is said there that it is beyond mind and speech. So go beyond mind and speech. There is the way to do that. And when you do that, you see that it is God can be realized. But one doesn't want to take the trouble of going beyond mind and speech, because it appears to be all lot of pleasantry in the arena of mind and speech. So one needs to have that courage. Scientific investigations need courage, because they may just topple your beliefs. Scientists have more beliefs. Not that science is all logical. Everything has to begin with a belief. Now verify it, test it. It is, if you see so much of, there is a nice book by one Bell, History of Physical Science, a wonderful book. There it is shown how the stubbornness of the scientists to accept the new ideas retarded the progress of science. Einstein's ideas were not accepted because if you accept them, then the whole edifice built over for hundreds of years, that will collapse. Well, How can you hold on to something that is not true? It is, if you want to become a really scientist, then you have to have courage, to give up these established ideas, that they new truths that are being discovered could challenge that, your convictions. And now you have a choice whether to go to the truth, or to hold on to these falsified convictions. And many, because of the worldly fears, oh, then what will happen to my position in the university? So many did like that. It is not too long ago that, and that's in here in MIT, he did not accept, he was a mathematician, and there are many nice papers, articles by him, books and articles by him. So he said, no, this is false, completely meaningless. Einstein's theory of relativity, it is wrong. And he was anti-Semitic, that man. So this is a Jewish science to be condemned. So now you can imagine, it requires courage to step out of box in any field. And the same thing happens to Einstein. He, tooth and nail, opposed the advance of quantum physics. He was an instrument in that ushering in the quantum era. But then, when the development of that, this Heisenberg and Niels Bohr, that discoveries shattered the very fabric that Einstein held so sacred, that everything can be determined perfectly in principle. There is no uncertainty. There may be uh, this incapacity to exactly come to a certain conclusion, but there is certainty. And when it was shown no, then he could not really show that how can this argument be countered. Everything he tried to show, those quantum physicists had answered to that. Ultimately, he had to take recourse to God. Oh, I don't believe that God plays dice. And the quantum physicist said, how do you know he doesn't play? He might as well be playing. So, it is in this science, this, because we do not accept, we do not have the courage to kick aside our own convictions, the science does not proceed ahead. So same thing, with religion also, one has to be courageous to verify. Look how much courageous Sri Ramakrishna was, Vivekananda was. Imagine the courage to be able to give up all these names and forms. Go beyond names and forms, friends. Imagine how much courage it requires, because all our pleasures, they lie in this arena of name and form. So it requires courage to verify that. Otherwise you cannot verify. I tell that joke many times. A little child was being cajoled by her aunt. That, oh, a little baby, do you love me? The baby said, yes. Surely give me a kiss. The baby obliged. You really love me? Will you then cry if I die? Surely I will cry, aunt, I will cry if you die. How will you cry? Sure. And the baby said, die first. So that is how our pleasures are, in this holding on to this unreal identification. Yes, Charlie?
What does the idea of quantum physics do to the idea of karma?
Oh well, I haven't studied that karma and quantum physics. That Harsha and such, that karma and quantum physics. You can write a paper on that, publish in Nature. Uh, Karma and quantum physics. Okay. So, any question upstairs, dear? No, good. So, let us conclude with the closing prayers. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.